I'm right in Sonoma, downtown Sonoma. So much fun to be here. And I am here with Ryan Pritchard. And Ryan is the director of winemaking for Three Sticks, which you can see on his hat if you look close. There you go. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you for making the time during harvest. I know you're busy and you're probably getting right back to it, aren't you?
Absolutely. This morning I was out in the vineyards pulling samples and checking press cuts and punch downs and all that today, so it's been a full day.
Yeah, and it's a toasty one too, getting toastier by the minute, it seems.
It is. We just came out of this nice, real sort of cool down that hit us here for the last week or so, which has been great. Kind of gave us time to get our feet back underneath ourselves. We've been pressing out a lot of tanks, and now, we've got another little burst of heat here. It shouldn't be too bad in most of our vineyards since they're a pretty cool climate. So, in some of these spots we might be getting up closer to 100, but our vineyards are probably at least 10 degrees cooler than that. So maybe up to about 90, which is totally doable, but we'll definitely push things along to get us done with harvest in the not too distant future.
It's always a lot of stuff going on. It's just so many things that, again, the things that people don't see behind the scenes. And of course, where your life virtually vanishes for a few weeks, if not months. So it's true.
No, I'm up before 5, and if I'm lucky, in bed before 11. But it's usually not I'm not always lucky. Let's put it that way.
And as a special note, we are here at the Adobe, which is your tasting space. Is this the space you normally use, or is it just how does that work?
Yeah, this is sort of our it's what we kind of call it. It's our Adobe, so it's our house. It's our tasting lounge. So we have a couple of different tasting spots here. People can come in on a reservation basis and share the wines. That's how we kind of get to have our club members come in, have people who aren't club members who are looking to learn about the wines, and it's very unassuming. There's not even a sign outside that says Three Sticks, so if you'd walk right past it if you didn't know.
Yeah, a little plate on the door. That's about it.
Yeah, it says Adobe. Yeah. You don't know it's Three Sticks is tiny little letters in there, and it's kind of meant to be that way. We don't want it to be. This is a house that was built in the 1840s, so it's the second oldest residence in town actually. So General Vallejo had built it for his brother originally, and so it's been a residence since then over the years, and we kind of wanted to keep that feel and like you're coming in to taste wine with a friend and family at a house, and keep it very sort of casual in that sense.
Now, I mentioned before we started the interview that I'd previously interviewed Don Van Starven, and it was years ago. I'm guessing it could be as long as 7 years ago. How long has Three Sticks been in business?
So Three Sticks started back in 2002. That was kind of the first time that we made any wine. Bill Price, our owner, purchased the Durrell Vineyard in 1997, and a handful of years after that decided, I want to make a couple barrels of Pinot Noir for some family and friends, and so started doing that. And like many things in wine country, it kind of blossomed into a winery over the years as it got a little bit bigger every year. So, Don joined on a couple years after that and became, was the head winemaker here, and was here all the way up through 2015, and that's when I joined on as well. And it was great. Don's has a great legacy here in the valley, and with Three Sticks, and still someone I always love seeing and pulling his ear and getting some old stories on Three Sticks and the valley.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, he had a couple of surfboards sitting around in the winery, didn't he?
He was and is a surfer, and a lot of those were probably handmade. He makes his own surfboards.
That's right.
Well.
Yeah.
Don's a big surfer, and that's actually one of the things that he and Bill Price, our owner, had in common. They're both surfers, and there's some of our older labels actually have waves on the back, sort of as a homage to that.
As I understand it, your focus is still Pinot and Chardonnay?
It is, yeah. In fact, with Don here, Don had a history of making Cabernet out at Chateau Saint Jean, and so when he came on, he was making Cabernet as well. after 2015, we decided to really focus in on Pinot Noir and Chardonnay because our focus is really our estate fruit, and we're 100% estate. We only make wine from fruit that we grow ourselves, and so being Pinot Noir and Chardonnay growers, that made sense to do that. So we've got 6 different vineyards throughout Sonoma County, and make fruit, make wine from that fruit. And 3 of those vineyards are what we call our heritage vineyards. There are vineyards that we've purchased from other people who have built those vineyards and farmed those for years, and we were kind of taking them over. And those we also sell fruit to other wineries. So Durrell, Gaps Crown, and Wallala are vineyards that we also sell fruit to other folks. And then 3 vineyards are monopole vineyards, and those are Alana, One Sky, and William James Vineyard. Those are all ones that we take all the fruit, and we're the only ones who make the wines from those spots. And we also planted and developed those from the ground up.
Now, are these more coastal type vineyards, or?
Yeah, and one of the things that I love about how we have this all set up here is that we've got vineyards throughout Sonoma County. So we have one here in town in Sonoma. We've got one in Sebastopol, one out in sort of closer to Occidental, one at Wallala, which is the far Sonoma coast, and then one sort of up from Glen Ellen, up on the top of Sonoma Mountain. So kind of scattered. Gaps Crown is just on the other side of Sonoma Mountain there from Glen Ellen as well. So scattered throughout the Sonoma County, we've got all these cool climate vineyards. All cool climate and all varying levels of cool climate. Gaps Crown's probably our coldest, maybe tied with our William James Vineyard, where they get sort of direct influence from the Petaluma Gap. But all of them are, sort of, you would look at on the grand scale as certainly cool climate.
It keeps you running around like a bit of a crazy man, even during the course of the year, I would think.
Absolutely. I live in Santa Rosa, so I'm right in the center of it all. So all the vineyards are generally within 20 to 30 minutes from me, with the exception of Wallala out at up near Annapolis. That's almost an hour and a half, 2.5 hour drive, depending on where you are. But I think that's one of the things that makes it special to be here, is that we get these very different terroirs, these very different climates to make wine from. A lot of times, if you're making an estate wine, you are making wine from the estate, which is right there, and so you're making it maybe from one spot. Maybe you have different soils or profiles, but these are different soils, microclimates,
very
geography, anything. Those are all. Everything's different about these spots. So you get to make very different wines from all of those, and get to sort of express those sites differently.
You got your own little playground.
It's true, and each one of them has their own sort of positives and idiosyncrasies and little flavor profiles and things that make them special. So they all get to come out. When I like to make these wines very similarly, so that the vines can speak for themselves.
I'm assuming, because of the situation we're in right here at the Adobe, is that tastings will be by appointment. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's all by appointment only.
Great. And for our listeners who'd like to learn more about you, as well as Three Sticks, what is your website?
Yeah, so it's www.threestickswines.com with an S at the end there of wines. And you can go on and make an appointment on there, or request an appointment, or call up and talk to our concierge and see if there's availability. I would say do it well in advance. It's something that does book up weeks, if not months in advance sometimes, depending on what's going on in weekend or weekday. But and it is a small space. It's all intimate. We do seated tastings at the table. Our living room, the living room of the home, is one of our tasting spots. We've got one outside here under the gazebo as well. So there's only a handful of spots to do it, but we kind of walk you through the Three Sticks lineup of wines and really want to engage with you on a sort of a personal level.
Ryan, this has been a real pleasure meeting you. I appreciate you taking the time, especially during harvest, which I know that wasn't easy. So thank you, and good luck for the rest of harvest.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was great talking.